Most people think they lose power in conversation. They don't. They lose it in reaction. Before someone interrupts you, before someone dismisses your idea, before someone challenges your authority, you've already lost control internally. You wake up and your thoughts are already racing. You replay yesterday's conversations. You anticipate future conflict. You imagine being misunderstood. You prepare defenses for arguments that haven't even happened. By the time you enter the room, you are not calm. You are braced. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the foundation of Stoic authority. You cannot control who interrupts you. You cannot control who respects you. You cannot control who misunderstands you. But you can control the space between stimulus and response. That space is sovereignty. Epictetus called it the discipline of assent, the ability to pause before agreeing with your own first emotional interpretation. Someone ignores your message. Your mind says, "They don't value me." Is that fact or assumption? Someone speaks sharply in a meeting. Your mind says, "You're being disrespected." Is that reality or ego? Most people never insert that pause. They react instantly, and reaction is predictable. Predictable people are manageable. If someone can trigger you, they can steer you. This is why inner discipline must come before outer tactics. Because without internal stillness, every external strategy becomes performance. You can memorize powerful phrases. You can practice confident posture. You can lower your voice intentionally. But if your nervous system is chaotic, it will leak through. Authority is not volume, it is regulation. When tension rises, most people speed up. Their speech accelerates. Their tone sharpens. Their breathing shortens. The Stoic does the opposite. He slows down. He lowers his voice slightly instead of raising it. He allows silence instead of filling it. This is not theatrical control. It is physiological discipline. If you want to command respect in a room, begin by controlling your tempo. Because tempo communicates state, and state communicates status. Now, once internal composure is built, something subtle changes. You stop chasing approval. You stop explaining excessively. You stop filling every silence. Silence becomes a tool, not an enemy. Most people are uncomfortable with silence. They rush to fill it. They over-clarify their point. They soften their statements. They dilute their impact. The disciplined speaker makes a statement and stops. No extra justification. No nervous laughter. No repetition. Just stillness. And stillness creates gravity. If someone interrupts mid-sentence, the reactive person either talks louder or shuts down. The sovereign person says calmly, "Let me finish," not sharp, not irritated, not defensive, then continues exactly where they left off. No commentary about the interruption, no emotional charge, just restoration of structure. Structure is power. You are not arguing. You are not asserting dominance. You are re-establishing sequence. If interruption continues, you shorten it further. "I'm not done." Eye contact. Continue. Notice something important. These phrases only work if delivered from genuine calm. If spoken with tension, they become confrontational. If spoken from steadiness, they become stabilizing. And that is the deeper principle. You are not trying to overpower the room. You are regulating it. Regulation is leadership. The Stoics did not train to win arguments. They trained to win themselves. Because once you control your reactions, your tempo, and your interpretations, your presence changes before you even speak. You no longer enter rooms searching for validation. You enter grounded, measured, self-governed. And when a person is self-governed, they do not need to prove authority. It is felt. That is the beginning of Stoic command. Most people believe respect is earned through effort, through being helpful, available, responsive, constantly present. But presence without discipline becomes overexposure, and overexposure reduces weight. Machiavelli observed something uncomfortable but true. Rulers who made themselves too accessible lost authority, not because kindness is weakness, but because unlimited access eliminates perceived value. What is always available becomes ordinary. What is measured becomes respected. This principle applies far beyond politics. If you respond instantly to every message, people expect immediacy. If you always initiate contact, others stop initiating. If you over-explain every decision, people stop thinking carefully about your words. Availability trains expectation, and expectation reshapes perception. The Stoics approached this differently. They did not chase visibility. They cultivated inner sufficiency. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome, yet wrote privately in reflection. He did not seek constant affirmation. He strengthened himself in solitude. Solitude, properly understood, is not isolation. It is recalibration. When you step away from constant interaction, you begin to see how much of your behavior is driven by habit, not intention. You check your phone without purpose. You respond to messages without urgency. You engage in conversations without adding value. Controlled presence means you choose engagement deliberately. You do not disappear dramatically. You do not announce your boundaries aggressively. You simply stop overextending. You respond when appropriate. You decline when necessary. You allow silence without anxiety. This is where many people misunderstand strategy. They think scarcity means coldness. It doesn't. It means intentionality. You can be warm without being overexposed. You can be kind without being constantly available. You can be engaged without being emotionally dependent. Emotional dependency is subtle. It shows when you feel restless without response, when you check for validation, when delayed replies create anxiety. Epictetus warned that if you attach your well-being to external reactions, you surrender control. If your mood shifts based on someone else's behavior, you are not sovereign. Strategic distance helps expose this. When you stop initiating constantly, you see who reaches out. When you stop over-communicating, you see who values clarity. Distance reveals patterns that closeness hides. But here is the critical element. Your withdrawal must be calm. If you withdraw out of resentment, people feel tension. If you withdraw to provoke reaction, you remain dependent on reaction. True scarcity is silent. You do not disappear to make a statement. You simply stop offering access without intention. Over time, something shifts. People begin to measure their words more carefully around you. They consider whether interruption is appropriate. They think before demanding your time. Not because you threatened them, because your engagement now carries weight. Weight comes from selectivity. When your attention is selective, it becomes valuable. When your time is guarded, it becomes respected. This is not manipulation. It is discipline. The Stoic builds internal stability. Machiavelli explains external perception. When both align, your presence changes. You are not rushed, not constantly reacting, not seeking to be seen. You speak when necessary. You stop when finished. You let silence remain. And silence, when unforced, communicates strength. Controlled presence does not seek dominance. It stabilizes the room. It shifts tempo. It slows impulsiveness. And when your tempo remains steady while others accelerate, you become the anchor. Anchors are not loud. They are firm. And firmness, when calm, commands more respect than aggression ever will. That is the power of scarcity. Not disappearance, but deliberate engagement. Most people don't lose authority because they lack intelligence. They lose it in delivery. The words may be correct, but the tone is rushed. The explanation is excessive. The reaction is emotional. And in that combination, power dissolves. The Stoics understood that speech reflects internal order. If your mind is chaotic, your language will be chaotic. If your ego is fragile, your sentences will overcompensate. If your confidence is dependent on approval, your tone will seek agreement. So before mastering what to say, master how you say it. Start with tempo. When challenged, most people accelerate. They speak faster to defend their point. Speed signals agitation. The disciplined speaker slows down. Lower your tone slightly instead of raising it. Pause before answering. Let the other person finish, even if they are wrong. Not because you agree, because composure is visible. When you respond from calm, you control pace. And pace controls perception. Now consider interruption. Someone cuts you off mid-sentence. The reactive instinct is to overpower, but overcompeting reduces authority. Instead, restore structure. Let me finish. Not sharp, not sarcastic, steady. Then continue exactly where you left off. No commentary, no accusation, no emotional charge. You are not fighting the interruption. You are reorganizing it. If the behavior repeats, shorten the boundary. I'm not done. Continue. Notice something important. These phrases are not aggressive. They are procedural. Procedure removes ego. Ego escalates. Structure stabilizes. Another common mistake is over-explaining. When someone questions your idea, you may feel compelled to justify every angle. But excessive justification communicates insecurity. Instead, compress your response. That won't work. If necessary, here's why. Briefly, then stop. Silence after clarity strengthens your position. When you keep talking, you dilute impact. When you stop, you reinforce it. Precision signals confidence. Rambling signals uncertainty. There is another powerful shift, asking for specificity. If someone says, "That doesn't make sense," resist the urge to defend immediately. Say, clarify, then stop speaking. Now the burden shifts. Instead of scrambling to prove yourself, you require definition. Clarity exposes vagueness, and vagueness often hides emotional reaction. The disciplined speaker never debates emotion with emotion. He brings structure. Now, understand the deeper principle. You are not trying to dominate conversation. You are protecting your frame. Frame means the discussion follows order. Emotions do not dictate direction. Interruptions do not control tempo. The moment you react impulsively, you surrender frame. The moment you respond deliberately, you maintain it. This requires internal discipline. If your nervous system spikes, these techniques will feel forced. If your mind is steady, they will feel natural. The Stoics trained this through daily reflection, examining reactions, correcting interpretations, preparing for friction, so that when pressure arrives, composure is not rehearsed, it is embodied. Authority in speech is not about sounding powerful. It is about remaining unshaken. When your breathing stays steady, when your tone remains even, when your words are measured, people feel it. And when people feel stability, they adjust to it. That is the paradox. You gain more control by controlling less. You speak with fewer words. You react less often. You allow silence more frequently. And in doing so, you remove unnecessary emotional leakage. Most people exhaust themselves in conversation, trying to win, trying to be understood, trying to be validated. The Stoic does not chase. He states, he pauses, he continues, and that quiet discipline carries more weight than volume ever will. That is how you speak without giving away power. It's easy to appear calm when nothing is happening. It's easy to speak slowly when no one challenges you. It's easy to feel sovereign when the room agrees. But power is not measured in comfort. It is measured in friction. The real test of Stoic discipline is not silence, it is pressure. Someone criticizes you publicly. Someone dismisses your idea abruptly. Someone speaks over you repeatedly. Your body reacts before your mind does. Your pulse rises. Your shoulders tighten. Your breathing shortens. This is the moment most people lose authority, not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack regulation. Epictetus taught that events themselves are neutral. It is our judgment about them that disturbs us. But that judgment happens fast, so fast that most people never question it. A comment becomes disrespect. A disagreement becomes an attack. A delay becomes rejection. And once labeled emotionally, reaction follows. The Stoic trains differently. He builds a checkpoint between stimulus and response. When tension rises, he does not speak immediately. He notices his own body first. He slows his breathing. He relaxes his jaw. He lowers his shoulders. This physical reset stabilizes tone, because tone reveals state. If your tone spikes, your power drops. If your tone steadies, while others escalate, perception shifts. You are no longer participating in emotional chaos. You are regulating it. This is where Machiavelli's observations on power align with Stoic psychology. A ruler who reacts visibly to provocation invites more provocation. A ruler who remains composed under pressure discourages escalation. The same dynamic exists in everyday life. When someone tries to destabilize you, whether consciously or unconsciously, they are testing reaction. If they succeed, they gain leverage. If they fail, they lose incentive. The disciplined response is rarely dramatic. Sometimes it is a short statement. Let's stay on topic. Sometimes it is a brief correction. That's not accurate. Sometimes it is silence. Silence under pressure is powerful. Not defensive silence. Not resentful silence. Measured silence. When someone expects you to flare up and you don't, something happens. Momentum breaks. Energy drops. The exchange slows. And slowing down re-establishes control. Another key principle is emotional economy. Not every challenge deserves engagement. Not every comment requires correction. Not every provocation requires acknowledgement. Choose your responses deliberately. If you respond to everything, your words lose weight. If you respond selectively, your words gain gravity. Gravity comes from restraint. Restraint comes from clarity. Clarity comes from internal discipline. There is also a hidden advantage in becoming difficult to provoke. People stop attempting it. When they learn that your reaction is steady, they conserve their own energy. Because emotional escalation requires fuel, and if you do not provide it, the exchange cannot intensify. The Stoics practiced discomfort voluntarily, cold baths, hardship, criticism to reduce sensitivity. Modern life offers different forms of discomfort: disagreement, social friction, delayed validation. You must treat these as training. Each moment of restraint strengthens composure. Each calm response reinforces reputation. Reputation compounds. Over time, people begin to describe you differently. Measured, hard to rattle, grounded. That reputation becomes protective because perception shapes behavior. And once people perceive that you are not easily moved, they approach differently. But remember, this is not about suppression. You still feel emotion. You simply choose whether to obey it. That choice, repeated consistently, builds sovereignty. Under pressure, most reveal themselves. The disciplined conceal nothing, but leak nothing unnecessary. That balance is rare, and rarity commands respect. Emotional discipline is not glamorous. It is quiet. But quiet stability outlasts loud reaction every time. That is how authority survives pressure. Most people believe boundaries require force. They imagine confrontation, raised voices, long explanations, dramatic ultimatums. The same applies to you. If someone interrupts once, correct structure. If someone interrupts repeatedly, escalate calmly. For example, if you keep interrupting, I'll pause this conversation. Notice the tone, not angry, not sarcastic, not threatening, just factual. And if the interruption continues, you follow through. You stop speaking. You disengage. You let silence take over. That silence is not passive aggression. It is enforcement. The difference between a suggestion and a boundary is consequence. Most people announce limits, but never enforce them. That inconsistency destroys credibility. If you say you value structure but continue participating in chaos, your words lose meaning. Consistency builds weight. Another powerful boundary is brevity. When someone dismisses your idea abruptly, you don't over-defend. You say, "That won't work." If necessary, add, "Here's why." Short explanation, then stop. No justifying, no persuading, no emotional charge. The moment you over-explain, you shift from evaluation to validation seeking. And validation seeking weakens authority. Boundaries without explanation signal internal certainty. You do not owe everyone full access to your reasoning. You do not owe endless clarification for every decision. Selective explanation preserves energy. Energy preservation preserves stability. And stability preserves respect. Another subtle boundary is controlled disengagement. If someone repeatedly shifts the topic, escalates emotionally, or refuses structure, you say, "We can continue when this is constructive." Then you withdraw. Not dramatically, not in anger, calmly. Disengagement is often more powerful than confrontation. Because confrontation feeds ego. Disengagement removes attention. Attention is leverage. When you remove it deliberately, you communicate something clearly. Participation with you requires respect. Now here is the critical element. Boundaries only work when delivered from calm. If you are tense inside, your tone will betray you. If you are resentful, your words will carry edge. If you are reactive, your boundary becomes escalation. The Stoic path demands internal alignment first. You must believe your boundary is reasonable. You must be willing to enforce it consistently. You must accept that some people will resist it. Not everyone benefits from structure. Some prefer chaos. But your role is not to accommodate chaos. It is to maintain order in your sphere. Over time, something shifts. People adjust before you need to correct them. They interrupt less frequently. They measure their tone more carefully. They approach with greater deliberation. Not because you intimidated them, because your consistency trained them. Consistency is the quiet foundation of authority. You do not need to declare dominance. You demonstrate discipline. And discipline is difficult to challenge. True boundaries do not seek approval. They define standards. Standards shape perception. Perception shapes behavior. And behavior, repeated over time, shapes reputation. When your reputation becomes measured, structured, steady, you no longer need to assert yourself constantly. Your presence carries precedent, and precedent prevents disorder before it begins. That is the power of boundaries that don't need explanation. There is a level of authority that doesn't require effort. It doesn't require volume. It doesn't require dominance. It doesn't require constant correction. It's the kind of presence that shifts a room before you even speak. But that presence is not built through tactics alone. It is built through repetition of discipline. You control your reactions. You regulate your tone. You choose when to engage. You enforce boundaries calmly. You speak with precision. You allow silence. And over time, something changes. People stop testing you, not because they fear you, because they cannot move you easily, and people instinctively stop pushing what does not shift. This is the quiet power of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius didn't command respect because he demanded it. He commanded it because he was internally stable. Machiavelli understood perception, but perception collapses without consistency. If you are calm one day and reactive the next, people sense instability. But if you are measured repeatedly under comfort and pressure, your behavior becomes predictable in the best way. Predictable in discipline, unpredictable in emotion. And that combination builds authority. Authority is not about intimidation. It is about steadiness. You do not react impulsively. You do not overextend yourself. You do not chase approval. You do not fill silence out of anxiety. You enter conversations composed. You leave conversations composed. You do not carry emotional residue into the next room. That composure compounds, and reputation compounds with it. Soon, people describe you differently. Hard to rattle, grounded, deliberate, calm under pressure. Those descriptions become insulation. They reduce friction before it begins. But this level of control requires commitment. It requires daily awareness of your reactions. It requires catching yourself when ego rises. It requires choosing restraint over impulse again and again. There is no shortcut. No single phrase that transforms perception overnight. Power built slowly lasts longer. If you've watched this far, ask yourself honestly, where do I still react automatically? Where do I over-explain? Where do I seek validation unnecessarily? Where do I tolerate disorder I could calmly correct? Choose one area, just one. Start there. Practice slowing your speech. Practice pausing before answering. Practice stating boundaries without emotion. This is not about becoming colder. It is about becoming clearer. The world is loud, reactive, unstable. If you can remain steady inside that environment, you become rare. And rarity carries weight. If this series helped you see authority differently, not as aggression, but as self-governance, then apply it. Not tomorrow, today. And if you're serious about mastering this discipline, subscribe and stay with this journey. Because we're not here for surface-level motivation. We're here for structure, for discipline, for sovereignty. Drop in the comments one behavior you're going to correct this week. Make it public. Commit to it. Then execute. Because knowledge without practice is noise. And practice without consistency is drift. Master yourself first. Then your voice will follow. Become the master of your voice. Rebuild your authority. Refocus your power. Rise above.